It's been a crazy NBA season. So many amazing things have happened, and it's been one of the most enjoyable seasons I've watched ever. 70-point games have happened, and now it comes down to two, Boston or Dallas. So who wins? So far, Boston are favourites, but it's not that simple. Mavericks are one of the best teams in the clutch, and I guarantee you a lot of these games will go down to the clutch. They have shown that they can be great in the clutch, dominating Minnesota with really close games, winning in 5, with continuously beating Minnesota in the clutch, and that's where they won the games. Kyrie and Luka dominate in those moments, and that's what they're going to look to do against Boston in this series. And now, as we've seen with Boston, well, their clutch has a bad rap. They have been wildly inconsistent. Their best player, Jason Tatum, is famed for being bad in the clutch, in the big moments. And we can see that in games like the 2022 NBA Finals where he struggled. It's not only his efficiency, it's his turnovers. He has massive amounts of turnovers in the big games. 6, 5, 4. He averaged 4 in the NBA Finals. You can't be doing that, especially against a team like Dallas who punish those turnovers. Luka, Kyrie have been really going for those steals in the playoffs, and we can see that in the stats. And they've been ravaging on defense, and that's what you got to protect. And when it comes to Jason Tatum, it's going to be difficult against a team like Dallas who hunt the steals. People say that the team with the best player wins, but I don't think that's going to be prominent here. Boston relies on its depth, and if Jason Tatum isn't playing well, they can rely on their other players. If we see the best players in the series, Luka takes 1, Jason Tatum takes 2. You could say Kyrie takes 3 on how well he's been playing in the playoffs so far. Then you've got Boston, and Boston. They've got the depth in this series. They also have a lot of players that you can rely on. Al Horford, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard. They've got a lot of pieces that you can put on the floor and they make an impact. And that's going to come down to when you need the consistency. I'm not saying that Dallas don't have good depth. They definitely do. But how deep this Boston team is will come in clutch when they need it. Now talking about Dallas, they've got a good team and they've showed that they can be consistent. Luka's stepped up, especially in that Minnesota series, to become this team's leader, and he dominated in the clutch. So did Kyrie Irving. He played his role perfectly. And the big men, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, and Derek Jones Jr. was a great player. They have the pieces and they have scruffy role players that you can put on and they can take charge. They've got 3-point shooters everywhere. And we know they can get it done on that side of the ball. But what about defense? They've been great on defense in the playoffs so far. But how will they match up against Boston? The Jason Tatum matchup is easy. They'll either have someone like PJ Washington or Derek Jones Jr. on him. And I think they'll do a great job. But what about Jaylen Brown? You're going to have Luka or Kyrie on most of the time. I don't think that's going to be Kyrie's job. He'll do Drew Holiday. But I think Luka will be put on Jaylen Brown, which Luka did struggle with in the regular season. Jaylen Brown averaged 30 points per game and Luka couldn't keep up. Jaylen Brown is shifty and he's fast. But Luka's defensive game has taken a step up in the playoffs. He's been working harder. He's been getting in the lanes. He's been getting way more steals, having one of the highest steal tallies in the playoffs. And I definitely think he'll work hard. And this matchup between Jaylen Brown and Luka on both sides of the ball will be a defining factor of how this series goes. Then you've got to think about the matchup against the Boston big men. The big reason why Dallas has done so well defensively is because of Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford playing a lot of help defense in the post. And that won't be able to be done because Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford are great 3-point shooters. Kristaps is coming back so everyone can shoot. And this is going to be dangerous for the Mavericks because if Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford can't help in the paint, there would have been a lot of shots that would have gone in against Minnesota. And this is going to open up the lanes for Boston. It's going to allow more free flow into the paint, which will generate way more points and make it more dangerous for the three-pointers. If you're focused on the inside, threes will be open, and that's where Boston wrecks people. They're the best three-point shooting team in the league. They have 8 guys who made more than 100 threes this year, and this is where Boston will look to dominate the Mavericks. And now, for who do I think's going to win the championship this year? I've been flamed multiple times for not trusting Dallas, but I'm going to go with Boston. They have the deepest team in the NBA. Jason Tatum, who can play really well. So can Jaylen Brown. They've got so many players who can lead their team, and that's why I think they'll come out on top. They'll remain consistent. They'll have patches where they can just dominate Dallas with their great defense and their three-point shooting. If they can find holes in the Dallas defense, which could happen because they're going to have to pull Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford out of the paint, I think Boston win in 6. And that's all I have for you today. So thank you for watching the video. Tell me who you think's going to win the NBA championship in the comments down below. And if you're this guy, well, I hope you win your PC. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.